Okay. Hello out there in video land. Today we're going to go back to the beginning of Sirens, and we're simply going to read. This whole session is just going to be a reading session. There might be a little discussion at the very end, but the purpose of today is actually to give a chance for the words on the page to just flow without real concern for anything but the musicality of the text. And with that said, I will begin. And here we go. Bronze by gold, heard the hoof irons steely ringing. Imprim, prim, chips, picking chips off rocky thumbnail chips, hooded and gold flushed more. A husky fife note blue, blue, blue bloom is on the gold pinnacle hair. A jumping rose on satiny breast of satin rose of Castile. Thrilling, thrilling, ay Dolores. Peep, who's in the peep of gold? Tink cried to bronze in pity. And a call, pure, long throbbing, long Indian call, decoy, soft word, but look, the bright stars fade. Oh, Rose! Notes, chirruping answer, Castile, the morn is breaking. Next.
Jingle, jingle, jaunted, jingling, coin rang, clock clacked, a vowel, sonnet. I could, rebound of garter, not leave thee. Smack, la cloche, thigh smack, a vowel, warm, sweetheart, goodbye. Jingle, blue, boom, crashing chords when love absorbs. War, war, the timpedum, a sail, a veil, a wave upon the waves. Lost, throstle fluted, all is lost now. Horn, ho horn, when first he saw, alas, full top, full throb, warbling, oh, you're alluring. Martha, come, clip clop, clip clap, clappy clap. Next.
Good God, Henev erred in all. Deathbolt passed, brought pad knife took up. A moonlit night call, far, far. I feel so sad. P.S. So lonely blooming. Listen, the spiked and winding cold sea horn. Have you the each and for and others plash and silent roar? Pearls, when she lists rhapsodies. You don't? Next, please.
Did not. No, no, believe. Lead did. With a cock and a cara. Black. Deep sounding. Do, ben, do. Wait while you wait. He, he. Wait while you he. But wait. Low in dark middle earth embedded ore. Namine, damine, all gone, all fallen. Tiny, her tremulous, fern foils of maidenhead. Amen. He gnashed in fury. Fro to fro, a baton cool protruding. Bronze Lydia by Mina gold, by bronze, by gold in ocean green of shadow. Bloom, old bloom, one wrapped, one tapped with the cara, with the cock. Pray for him, pray, good people. Sylvia?
His gouty fingers knackering. Big Ben a Ben. Big Ben Ben. Last rose, Castile of summer left bloom. I feel so sad alone. Pew. Little wind piped wee. True men. Lid care cow, dee and doll. Aye, aye. Like you men, will lift your tinshook with tush crunk. Where bronze from anear? Where gold from afar? Where hoofs? Curve. Then, not till then, may be done. Begin. Next.
Jim, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Where bronze from an ear, where gold from afar, where hoof, rar, crar, crandle, then not till then my effort be proofed, done, begin, bronze by gold, Miss Douce's head by Miss Kennedy's head, over the cross-blind of the Ormond bar, here the viceregal hoofs go by, ringing steel. Is that her? Asked Miss Kennedy. Miss Douce said yes, sitting with his ex, Pearl Grey and O'Donnell. Exquisite contrast, Miss Kennedy said. When all agog, Miss Douce said eagerly, look at the fella in that tall silk. Who? Where? Gold asked more eagerly. In the second carriage, Miss Douce's wet lips said, laughing in the sun. He's looking, mind till I see. She darted bronze to the backmost corner, flattening her face against the pane in a halo of hurried breath. Her wet lips tittered. He's kilt looking back. She laughed, oh, wept, and men frightful idiots. With sadness. Next, please.
Miss Kennedy sauntered sadly from bright light, twining a loose hair behind an ear. Sauntering sadly, gold no more, she twisted, twined a hair. Sadly she twined in sauntering gold hair behind a curving ear. It's them that has the fine times, sadly, then she said. A man. Boo-hoo went by Moulang's pipes, bearing in his breast the sweets of sin, by wine's antiques in memory bearing sweet sinful words, by Carol's dusky battered plate for Raoul. The boots to them in the bar, them barmaids came. For them, unheeding him, he banged on the counter his tray of chattering china. And there's your teas, he said. Miss Kennedy, with manners, transposed the tea tray down to an upturned lithia crate, safe from eyes and low. What is it? Loud Boots unmannerly asked. Find out, Miss Douce retorted, leaving her spying point. Your beau, is it? A haughty Browns replied, I'll complain to Mrs. Macy on you if I hear any more of your impertinence, insolence. Boots now sniffed rudely as he retreated, as she threatened as he had come. Bloom. On her flower frowning, Miss Douce said, most aggravating that young brat is. If he doesn't conduct himself, I'll wring his ear for him a yard long. Next, please.
Dave, are you ready to read?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
Page 232.
I know where we are. Were you asking me to read?
Yes,
I will.
if you're ready.
Okay. I think it is
Ladylike.
ladylike. Yes, thanks. Ladylike in exquisite contrast. Take no notice, Miss Kennedy rejoined. She poured in a teacup tea, then back in the teapot tea. They cowered under their reef of counter, waiting on footstools, crates upturned, waiting for their teas to draw. They pawed their blouses, both of black satin, 2 and 9 a yard, waiting for their teas to draw, and 2 and 7. Yes, bronze from anear, by gold from afar, heard steel from anear, hoofs ring from afar, and heard steel hoofs ring hoof, ring steel. Am I awfully sunburnt? Miss Bronze unbloused her neck. No, said Miss Kennedy. It gets brown after. Did you try the borax with the cherry laurel water? Miss Douce half stood to see her skin askance in the bar mirror, gilded lettered where hawk and claret glasses shimmered, and in their midst a shell. And leave it to my hands, she said. Try it with the glycerin, Miss Kennedy advised. Bidding her neck and hands adieu, Miss Douce. Those things only bring out a rash, replied, reseated. I asked that old fogey in Boyd's for something for my skin. Miss Kennedy, pouring now a full-drawn tea, grimaced and prayed. Oh, don't remind me of him for mercy's sake. But wait till I tell you, Miss Douce entreated. Sweet tea, Miss Kennedy, having poured with milk, plugged both 2 ears with little fingers. No, don't, she cried. I won't listen, she cried. But Bloom? Miss Douce grunted in snuffy fogey's tone. For your what? Says he. Miss Kennedy unplugged her ears to hear, to speak, but prayed again. Don't let me think of him, or I'll expire, the hideous old wretch. That night in the ancient concert rooms? She sipped distastefully her brew, hot tea, a sip, sipped sweet tea. Here he was, Miss Douce said, cocking her bronze head 3/4, ruffling her nose wings. Huffa! Huffa! Shrill shriek of laughter sprang from Miss Kennedy's throat. Miss Douce huffed and snorted down her nostrils that quivered impertinent like a snout in quest. Oh! Shrieking, Miss Kennedy cried. Will you ever forget his goggle eyes? Miss Douce chimed in deep bronze, laughter shouting, and your other eye? Blue Who, dark eye, read Aaron Fignator's name. Why did I always think fig gatherer? Gathering figs, I think, and Prosper Lore's Huguenot name. By Bassie's Blessed Virgins, Bloom's dark eyes went by, blue-robed, white under, come to me. God, they believe she is, or goddess. Those today I could not see. That fellow spoke, a student, after with Daedalus's son. He might be Mulligan. All comely virgins, that brings those rakes of fellows in, her white. By went his eyes, the sweets of sin. Sweets are the sweet of sin. In a giggling peal, young gold bronze voices blended. Douce with Kennedy, your other eye. They threw young heads back, bronze giggle gold, to let free fly their laughter, screaming, your other, signals to each other, high, piercing notes. Ah, panting, sighing, ah, fordone, their mirth died down. Next, please.
Miss Kennedy lipped her cup again, raised, drank a sip, and giggled. Miss Douce, bending again over the tea tray, ruffled again her nose and rolled droll, fattened eyes. Again, and he giggles, stooping her fair pinnacles of hair, stooping, her tortoise nap cone showed, spluttering out of her mouth her tea, choking in tea and laughter, coughing with kind. Oh, greasy eyes! Imagine being married to a man like that, she cried, with his bit of beard. Douce gave full vent to a splendid yell, a full yell of full woman delight, joy, indignation. Married to the greasy nose! Oh, she yelled. Shrill with deep laughter after bronze and gold, they urged each other to peal after peal, ringing in changes bronze, gold, gold, bronze, shrill, deep, to laughter after laughter, and then laughed more. Greasy, I know, exhausted, breathless, their shaken heads they laid, braided and pinnacled by glossy combed against the counter ledge. Oh, flushed, oh, panting, sweating, oh, breathless. Next.
Married to Bloom, to Bloom. Oh, sakes above, Miss Douce said, sighed above her jumping rose. I wished I hadn't laughed so much. I feel all wet. Oh, Miss Douce, Miss Kennedy protested, you horrid thing. And flushed yet more, you horrid, more goldenly. By Cantwell's offices roved Goosey Bloom, by Cheppy's virgins, bright of their oils. Nanetti's father hawked those things about, wheedling at doors as I. Religion pays. Must see him for that pair. Eat first. I want. Not yet. Oh, she said. Time ever passing, clock hands turning on. We'll eat. Clarence, dolphin, oh, eat. If I net 5 guineas with those ads, violet silk petticoats, not yet. The sweets of sin. Flushed, yes. Flushed, still less. Golden paled. Into their bar strolled Mr. Davis. Chips, picking chips off one of his rocky thumbnails. Chips, he strolled. Oh, welcome back, Miss Douce. He held her hand. Enjoyed her holidays? Tip-top. He hoped she had nice weather in Russ trailer. Gorgeous, she said. Look at the holy show I am, lying out in the Strand all day. Bronze whiteness. That was exceedingly naughty of you, Mr. Daedalus told her, and pressed her hand indulgently, tempting poor, simple nails. Miss Douce of Satin deuced her on the way. Oh, go away, she said. You're very simple, I don't think. He was. Well, now I am, he mused. I looked so simple in the cradle, they christened me Simple Simon. You must have been a doty, Miss Douce made answer. And what did the doctor order today? Well, now, he mused. Whatever you say yourself. I think I'll trouble you for some fresh water and a half glass of whiskey. Jingle. With the greatest alacrity, Miss Douce agreed. With grace of alacrity towards the mirror gilt, Cantrell and Cochrane's, she turned herself. With grace, she tapped a measure of gold whiskey from her crystal keg. Forth from her skirt of his coat, Miss Daedalus brought pouch and pipe. Alacrity, she served. He blew through the flue 2 husky fife notes. Next.
I've lost my, oh, by Jove, he mused. I often wanted to see the Mourne Mountains. Must be a great tonic in the air down there. But a long threatening comes at last, they say. Yes, yes, yes. He fingered shreds of her hair, her maiden hair, her maid's, into the bowl. Chips, shreds, musing, mute. None not said, nothing. Yes. Gaily Miss Douce polished a tumbler, trilling. O Dolores, queen of the eastern seas. Was Mr. Litwell in today? In came Lenehan, round him peered Lenehan. Mr. Bloom reached Essex Bridge. Yes, Mr. Bloom crossed Bridge of Essex. To Martha I must write. By paper, dailies, girl there civil. Bloom, old Bloom, blue Bloom is on the rye. He was in at lunchtime, Miss Douce said. Lenehan came forward. Next, please.
Was Mr. Boylan looking for me? He asked. She answered. Miss Kennedy, was Mr. Boylan in while I was upstairs? She asked. Miss Voice of Kennedy answered. A second teacup poised her gaze upon a page. No, he was not. Miss Gaze of Kennedy heard not seen, read on. Lenehan round the sandwich bell wound his round body round. Peep who's in the corner, no glance of Kennedy rewarding him. He yet made overtures to mind her stops, to read only the black ones, round O and crooked S. Jingle, jaunty, jingle. Girl gold, she read and did not glance, take no notice. She took no notice, while he read by rote a sulph, a fable for her, plabbering flatly. A fox met a stork, said the fox to the stork, will you put your bill down in my throat and pull up a bone? He droned in vain. Miss Douce turned to her tea aside. He sighed, aside. Ah, me, oh my. He greeted Mr. Daedalus and got a nod. Greetings from the famous son of a famous father. Who may he be? Mr. Daedalus asked. Lenehan opened most genial arms. Who may he be? He asked. Can you ask? Stephen, the youthful bard, dry. Mr. Dedalus' famous father laid by his dry-filled pipe. I see, he said. I didn't recognize him for the moment. I hear he is keeping very select company. Have you seen him lately? He had. I quaffed the nectar bowl with him this very day, said Lenehan, in Mooney's on Veal and in Mooney's sur Mer. He had received the rhino for the labour of his muse. Sylvia.
He smiled at Bronze's tea-bathed lips, at listening lips and eyes. The elite of Aaron hung upon his lips, the ponderous pundit, Hugh MacHugh, Dublin's most brilliant scribe and editor, and that minstrel boy of the wild wet west, who is known to the euphonious appellation of O'Madden's Burke. After an interval, Mr. Dedalus raised his grog and that must have been highly diverting, said he. I see. He drank. With far-away morning mountain eye, set down his glass. He looked towards the saloon door. I see you have moved the piano. The tuner was in today, Miss Juice replied, tuning it for the smoking concert. And I never heard such an exquisite player. Is that a fact? Didn't he, Miss Kennedy? The real classical, you know. Blind too. Poor fellow, not 20, I'm sure he was. Is that a fact? Mr. Dedalus said. He drank and strayed away. So sad to look at his face, Miss Douce condoled. God's curse on a bitch's bastard. Take to your pity, cried the diner's bell. To the bell of the bar in the dining room came bald Pat, came bothered Pat, came Pat, waiter of Ormond, lager for dinner, lager without electricity, she said. With patience, Lenehan waited for Boylan with impatience, for Jingle Jaunty, Blaze's boy. Next.
Upholding the lid, he, who gazed in the coffin, at the oblique triple, piano, wires. He pressed, the same who pressed indulgently her hand, soft peddling a triple of keys to see the thickness of felt advancing to hear the muffled hammer fall in action. 2 sheets, cream vellum paper, 1 reserve, 2 envelopes. When I was in Wisdom's Haleys, Wise Bloom and Dailies, Henry Flower bought. Are you not happy in your home? Flower to console me, and a pin cut slow, means something, language of flow. Was it a daisy? Innocence, that is. Respectable girl, meet after mass. Thanks awfully muchly. Wise Bloom eyed on the door a poster, a swaying mermaid smoking mide, nice waves. Smoke mermaids, coolest whiff of all, her streaming lovelorn, for some man, for Raoul. He eyed and saw far on Essex Bridge a gay hat riding on a jaunting car. It is, 3rd time, coincidence. Jingling on supple rubbers it jaunted from the bridge to Ormond Quay. Follow, risk it, go quick, at 4, near now. Out. 2pence, sir, the shop girl dared to say. Ah, I was forgetting. Excuse. And 4? At 4 she. Winsomely she on blooming whom smiled. Blue smile, quick coon. Think you does that to all, for men. In drowsy silence, gold bent on her page. From the salon a call came, long in dying. That was a tuning fork the tuner had, that he forgot, that he now struck. A call again, that he now poised, that it now throbbed. You hear? It throbbed, pure, purer, softly and softer, its buzzing prongs longer in dying call. Pat paid for diner's pop-cork bottle, and over tumbler tray and popcorn bottle ere he went, he whispered, bawled and bothered with Miss Douce. The bright stars fade, a voiceless song sang from within singing, the morn is breaking. Next, please.
A duodene of bird notes chirped bright trebled answer under sensitive hands. Brightly the keys, all twinkling, linked, all harpsichording, called to a voice to sing the strain of dewy morn, of youth, of love's leave-taking, life's love's morn. The dewdrop pearls. Lenehan's lip over the counter lisped a low whiskey of decoy. But look this way, he said, Rose of Castile. Jingle jaunted by the curb and stopped. She rose and closed her reading. Rose of Castile, fretted, forlorn, dreamily rose. Did she fall or was she pushed? He asked her. She answered, slighting. Ask no questions and you'll hear no lies. Ladylike. Blazes Boylan's smart tan shoes creaked on the bar floor where he strode. Yes, gold from a nearby, bronze from afar, Lenehan heard and knew and hailed him. See, the conquering hero comes. Between the car and the windows, warily walking, went Bloom, unconquered hero. See me he might. The seat he sat on, warm, black, wary, he cat walked towards Richie Goulding's legal bag, lifted aloft, saluting. And I from thee, I heard you were round, said Blazes Boylan. He touched to fair Miss Kennedy a rim of his slanted straw. She smiled on him, but Sister Bronze outsmiled her, preening for him her richer hair, a bosom, and a rose. Smart Boylan bespoke potions. What's your cry? Glass of bitter? Glass of bitter, please, and a sloe gin for me. Wire in yet? Not yet. At 4, she. Who said 4? Crowley's red lungs and bulging apple in the door of the sheriff's office. Avoid. Goulding a chance. What is he doing in the Ormond? Car waiting. Wait. Next, please.
Hello, where off to? Something to eat? I too was just in here. What? Ormond? Best values in Dublin. Is that so? Dining room. Sit tight there. See, not be seen. I think I'll join you. Come on. Richie led on. Bloom followed bag. Dinner fit for a prince. Miss Douce reached high to take a flagon, stretching her satin arm, her bust, that all but burst, so high. Oh, jerked Lenehan, gasping at each stretch. Oh! But easily she seized her prey and let it low in triumph. Why don't you grow? Asked Blazes Boylan. She bronzed, dealing from her oblique jar thick, syrupy liquor for his lips, looked as it flowed, flour in his coat, who gave him, and syruped with her voice. Fine goods in small parcels. That is to say, neatly she poured, slow, syrupy, slow. Here's fortune, Blazes said. He pitched a broad coin down. Coin rang. Hold on, said Lenehan, till I... Fortune, he wished, lifting his bubbled ale. Sceptre will win in a canter, he said. I plunged a bit, said Boylan, winking and drinking. Not on my own, you know, fancy of a friend of mine. Lenehan still drank and grinned at his tilted ale, and Miss Douce's lips, that all but hummed, not shut, the ocean song her lips had trilled. Idolores, the eastern seas. Clock word, Miss Kennedy passed their way. Flower, wonder who gave, bearing away tea tray. Clock clacked. Miss Douce took Boylan's coin, struck boldly the cash register. It clanged. Clock clacked. Fair one of Egypt teased and sorted in the till, and hummed and handed coins in change. Look to the west. A clack. For me. What time is that? Asked Blazes Boylan. 4? O'clock. Lenehan, small eyes a hunger on her humming, bust a humming, tugged Blazes Boylan's elbow sleeve. Let's hear the time, he said. The bag of Goulding, Collis, Ward, led Bloom by Rye Bloom, flowered tables. Aimless, he chose with agitated aim, bald Pat attending, a table near the door. Be near, at 4. Has he forgotten? Perhaps a trick. Not come. Whet appetite. I couldn't do. Wait. Pat, waiter, waited. Sparkling bronze azure-eyed Blazier's sky blue bow and eyes. Go on, pressed Lenehan. There's no one. He never heard. To Flora's lips did high. A high note pealed the treble air. Bronze Deuce, communing with her rose that sank and rose, sought Blazes Boylan's flower and eyes. Please, please, he pleaded over returning phrases of avowal. I could not leave thee. Afterwits, Miss Deuce promised coyly. No, now, urged Lenehan. Sonnez la cloche. Oh, do, there's no one. She looked, quick, Miss Ken out of earshot, sudden, bent. Two kindling faces watched her bend. Quavering, the cord strayed from the air, found it again, lost chords, and lost and found it faltering. Go on, do, sonnez. Bending, she nipped a peak of skirt above her knee, delayed, taunted them still, bending, suspending with willful eyes. Sonnez! Smack! She set free, sudden in rebound, her nipped elastic garter smack warm against her smackable woman's warm-hosed thigh. La cloche! Cried gleeful Lenehan. Trained by owner, no sawdust there. She smiled, smirked, supercilious, wept. Aren't men? But, lightward, gliding, mild, she smiled on Boylan. You're the essence of vulgarity, she in gliding said. Boylan, eyed, tossed to fat lips his chalice, drank off his chalice, tiny, sucking the last fat violet syrupy drops. His spellbound eyes went after her gliding head as it went down the bar by mirrors. Gilded arch for ginger ale, hock and claret glasses shimmering, a spiky shell where it concerted, mirrored, bronze with sunnier bronze. Yes, bronze from a nearby. Sweetheart, goodbye. I'm off, said Boylan with impatience. He slid his chalice brisk away, grasped his change. With a shake, begged Lenehan, drinking quickly. I wanted to tell you, Tom Rochford. Come on to Blazes, said Blazes Boylan, going. Lenehan gulped. Got the horn or what? He said. Wait, I'm coming. He followed the creaking shoes, but stood by nimbly by the threshold, saluting forms, a bulky with a slender. Duncan?
How do you do, Mr. Dollard? Eh? How do, being Dollard's vague bass answered, turning an instant from Father Cowley's wine. Whoa. He won't give you any trouble, Bob. Alf Bergen will speak to the Longfellow. He'll put a barley straw to that Judas Iscariot's ear this time. Signed, Mr. Dedalus came through the saloon, a finger soothing an eyelid. Oh, we will, Ben Dollard yodeled jollily. Come on, Simon, give us a ditty. Ye heard the piano. Bald Pat, bothered waiter, waited for drink orders, hour for Richie. And Bloom? Let me see. Not make him walk twice, his corns. 4 now. How warm this black is. Course, nerves a bit. Refracts, is it? Heat? Let me see. Cider. Yes, bottle of cider. What's that? Mr. Dedalus said. I was only vamping, man. Come on, Ben Dollard called. Be gone, dull care. Come on, Bob. He ambled Dollard bulkily slops before them. Hold that fellow with the, hold him now, into the saloon. He plumped him, Dollard, on the stool. His gouty paws plumped chords, plumped, stopped abrupt. Bald Pat, in the doorway, met tealess gold returning. Bothered he wanted power and cider. Bronze by the window watched, bronze from afar. Jingle a tinkle jaunted. Bloom heard a jing, a little sound. He's off. Light sob of breath. Bloom sighed on the silent blue-hued flowers jingling. He's gone. Jingle. Here. Love and war, Ben, Mr. Dedalus said. God be with old times. Next.
Miss Deuce's brave eyes, unregarded, turned from the cross blind, smitten by sunlight. Gone. Pensive. Who knows? Smitten. The smiting light. She lowered the drop line with a sliding cord. She drew down pensive. Why did he go so quick when about her bronze, over the bar where bald stood by Sister Gold, in exquisite contrast. Contrast in exquisite, non-explicit. Slow, cool, dim, sea green, sliding depth of shadow. Eau de Dieu. Poor old Godwin was the pianist last night, Father Crowley reminded them. There was a slight difference of opinion between himself and the college grand. There was. A symposium all his own, Mr. Daedalus said. The devil wouldn't stop him. He was a crotchety old fellow in the primary stage of drink. God, do you remember? Ben Bulky Dollard said, turning from the punished keyboard. And by Japers, I had no wedding garment. They laughed, all three. He had no wed. All three left no wedding garment. Our friend Bloom turned in handy that night, Mr. Daedalus said. Where's my pipe, by the way? He wandered back to the bar, to the lost cord pipe. Old Pat carried 2 diners' drinks, Richie and Poldy. And Father Cowley laughed again. I saved the situation, Ben, I think. You did, averred Ben Dollard. I remember those tight trousers, too. That was a brilliant idea, Bob. Father Cowley blushed to his brilliant purply lobes. He saved the situation. Tight trowel, brilliant idea. I knew he was on the rocks, he said. The wife was playing the piano in the Coffee Palace on Saturdays for a very trifling consideration. And who was it gave me the wheeze she was doing the other business? Do you remember? We had to search all Hollis Street to find them. So the chap in Keogh's gave us the number. Remember? Ben remembered. His broad visage wondering, by God, she had some luxurious opera cloaks and things there. Mr. Daedalus wandered back, pipe in hand. Merriam Square style ball dresses, by God, and court dresses. He wouldn't take any money either, what? Any God's quantity of cocked hats and boleros and truncos, what? Aye, Mr. Daedalus nodded. Mrs. Marion Bloom has left off clothes of all descriptions. Jingle jaunted down the quays. Blazes sprawled on bounding tires. Liver and bacon, steak and kidney pie, right, sir? Right, Pat? Mr. Marion, metempsychosis, smell of burn, Paul the cock. Nice name, he. What's this her name was? A buxom lassie. Marion Tweedy. Yes, is she alive and kicking? She was a daughter of the regiment. Yes, gad. I remember the old drum major. Mr. Daedalus struck, whizzed, lit, puffed, savory puff after. Irish? I don't know. Is she, Simon? Puff after puff, a puff strong, savory crackling. Bookinator muscle is what? Bit rusty. Oh, she is my Irish Molly. Oh, he puffed a pungent, plumy blast. From the Rock of Gibraltar all the way. Next.
They pined in depth of ocean shadow, gold by the pure beer pool, bronze by maraschino, thoughtful all too. Mina Kennedy, 4 Lismore Terrace, Drumcondra, with Idolores, a queen, Dolores, silent. Pat served uncovered dishes. Leopold cut liver slices. I said before he ate with relish the inner organs, nutty gizzards, fried cod's roes, while Richie Golding, Collis Ward, ate steak and kidney, steak, then kidney, bite by bite of pie, he ate, Bloom ate, they ate. Bloom with Goulding, married in silence, ate. Dinners fit for princes. By Bachelor's Walk, Jog Jaunty jingled, blazes boiling. A bachelor, in sun, in heat, mare's glossy rump a trot, with flick of whip on bounding tires, sprawled, warm-seated, boiling impatience, ardent bold. Horn, have you the? Horn, have you the? Ho ho, horn. Over their voices, Dollard bassooned attack, booming over bombarding chords. When love absorbs my ardent soul. Roll of Bensoul Benjamin, roll to the quivery, love-shivery roof panes. War! War! Cried Father Cowley. You're the warrior. So I am, Ben Warrior laughed. I was thinking of your landlord. Love or money? He stopped. He wagged huge beard, huge face over his blunder, huge. Sure you'd burst the tympanum of her ear, man, Mr. Dedalus said through smoke aroma, with an organ like yours. In bearded, abundant laughter, Dollard shook upon the keyboard. He would. Not to mention another membrane, Father Cowley added. Half-time, Ben? Amoroso ma non troppo. Let me there. Miss Kennedy served two gentlemen with tankards of cool stout. She passed a remark. It was indeed, first gentleman said, beautiful weather. They drank cool stout. Did she know where the Lord Lieutenant was going? And heard steel hoofs ring. No, she couldn't say. But it would be in the paper. Oh, she needn't trouble. No trouble. She waved about her outspread, independent, searching. The Lord Lieutenant, her pinnacles of hair slow moving. Lord Lieutenant. Too much trouble, first gentleman said. Oh, not in the least. Way he looked that. Lord Lieutenant, gold by bronze, heard iron steel. Next, please.
My ardent soul, I care not for the morrow. In liver gravy, bloom mashed potatoes. Love and war someone is. Ben Dollard's famous. Night he ran round to us to borrow a dress suit for that concert. Trousers tight as a drum on him. Musical porkers. Molly did laugh when he went out. Threw herself back across the bed, screaming, kicking, with all his belongings on show. Oh, saints above, I'm drenched. Oh, the women in the front row. Oh, I never laughed so many. Well, of course, that's what gives him the bass barrel tone. For instance, you nunks. One who's playing nice touch must be Cowley, musical, knows whatever note you play. Bad breath he has, poor chap, stopped. Miss Dowse engaging Lydia Dowse, bowed to suave solicitor. George Lidwell, gentleman entering, good afternoon. She gave her moist a lady's hand to his firm clasp. Afternoon, yes, she was back to the old ding-dong again. Your friends are inside, Mr. Lidwell. George Lidwell, suave solicited, held a Lydia hand. Bloom may it live, as said before. Clean here at last. That chap in the Burton, gummy with gristle. No one here. Goulding and I. Clean table, flowers, mitres of napkins, pat to and fro, ball pat. Nothing to do. Best value in dub. Piano again. Cowley it is. Way he sits into it. Like one together, mutual understanding. Tiresome shapers, scraping fiddles, eye on the bow end, sawing the cello, remind you of toothache. Her high, long snore, night we were in the box, trombone under, blowing like a grumpus, between the acts, other brass chap, unscrewing, emptying spittle. Conductor's legs too, bags, trousers, jiggity, do right to hide them. Jiggity jingle, jaunty, only the harp. Lovely gold glowering light. Girl touched it. Poop of a lovely. Graver's rather good, fit for a golden ship. Erin, the harp that once or twice. Cool hands, Ben Holt, the rhododendrons. We are their harps. I, he, old, young. I couldn't, man, Mr. Ellis said, shy and listless, strongly. Go on, blast you, Ben Dollard growled. Get out in bits. Ma Paris, Simon, Father Cowley said. Downstage he strode some paces, grave, tall in affliction, his long arms outheld, hoarsely the apple of his throat hoarsened, softly, softly he sang to a dusty escape. There, a last farewell, a headland, a ship, a sail upon the billows. Farewell, a lovely girl, her veil a wave upon the wind, upon the headland. Wind around, Cowley sang, Ma pari tut amor il mio swargo l'incont. She waved, on hearing Cowley, her veil to one departing, dear one, to wind, love, speeding sail, return. Go on, Simon, Asher, my dancing days are done. Ben, well, Mr. Dedalus laid his pipe to rest beside the tuning fork and sitting touched the obedient keys. No, Simon, Father Cowley turned, played the original one flat. The keys obedient rose higher, told, faltered, confessed, confused. Up stage strode Father Cowley. Here, Simon, I'll accompany you, he said. Get up. Sylvia.
By Graham Lemon's Pineapple Rock, by Elvery's Elephant Jingly Jogged. Steak, kidney, liver, mashed at meat. Fit for princes, sat Princess Bloom and Golding. Princes at meat they raised and drank, par and cider. Most beautiful tenor air ever written, Richie said, Sana Bula. He heard Joe Maas sing that one night. Ah, what, McGuckian? Yes, in his way. Choir boy style. Maas was the boy. Mass boy. A lyrical tenor, if you like. Never forget it. Never. Tenderly, Bloom, over liverless bacon, saw the frightened features strain. Backache, he. Bright's bright eye. Next item on the program, paying the piper. Pills, pounded bread, worth a guinea a box. Stave it off a while. Sings to Dawn Among Dead Men. Appropriate. Kidney pie. Sweets to the not making much of a hand of it. Best value in characteristic of him. Par. Particular about his drink. Flaw in the glass. Fresh Bartry water. Feckin' matchers from counters to save. Then squander a sovereign in dribs and drabs. And when he's wanted, not a farthing. Screwhead, refusing to pay his fare. Curious types. Never would Richie forget that night, as long as he lived. Never. In the gods of the old royal with little peak. And when the first note, speech paused on Richie's lips. Coming out with a whopper now. Rhapsodies about damn all. Believes his own lies. Does, really. Wonderful liar. But want a good memory. What air is that? Said Leopold Bloom. All is lost now. Richie cocked his lips spout. A low incipient note, sweet banshee murmured. All. A thrush, a thistle, his breath, bird sweet, good teeth he's proud of, fluted with a plainful woe, is lost. Rich sound, two notes in one there. Blackbird I heard on the Hawthorn Valley. Taken by motives, he twined and turned them. Almost too new call is lost in all. Echo, how sweet the answer. How is that done? All lost now. Mournfully whistled. Fall, surrender, lost. Next.
Bloom bent Leopold ear, turning a fringe of doily down under the vase. Order. Yes, I remember. Lovely air. In sleep she went to him. Innocence in the moon. Still held her back. Brave, don't know their danger. Call name, touch water, jingle, jaunty. Too late, she longed to go, that's why, woman, as easy stop the sea. Yes, all is lost. A beautiful air, said Bloom, lost Leopold, I know it well. Never in all his life had Richie Goulding. He knows it well too, or he feels, still harping on his daughter. Wise child that knows her father, Daedalus said. Me? Bloom askance over liverless saw. First of all, first of the all is lost. Rollicking Richie once, joked, old, stale now, wagging his ear, napkering in his eye, now begging letters he sends his son with. Cross-eyed Walter. Sir, I did, sir. Wouldn't trouble you, only I was expecting some money. Apologize. Piano again. Sounds better than last time I heard. Tuned properly, stopped again. Dollard and Crowley still urged the lingering singer out with it. With it, Simon! It's Simon! Ladies and gentlemen, I am most deeply obliged by your kind solicitations. It's Simon! I have no money, but if you will lend me your attention, I shall endeavour to sing to you of a heart bowed down. By the sandwich bell in screening shadow, Lydia, her bronze and rose, a lady's grace, gave and withheld, as in a cool glaucus o'er the Nile. Mina, to tankards too, pinnacles of gold, the harping chords of prelude closed. A chord long drawn, expectant, drew a voice away. When first I saw that form endearing, Richie turned. See Daedalus' voice, he said. Brain tipped, cheek touched with flame, they listened, feeling that flow, endearing flow over skin, limbs, human hearts, stole spine. Bloom signed to Pat. Ball Pat is a waiter hard of hearing, to set ajar the door to the bar. The door of the bar? That will do. Pat, waiter, waited, waiting to hear, for he was hard of hear by the door. Sorrow from me seemed to depart. Through the hush of air a voice sang to them, low, not rain, not leaves in murmur, like no voice of strings or reeds. What do you call them? Dulcimers, touching their still ears with words, still hearts of their, each his remembered lives. Good, good to hear. Sorrow from them, each seemed to, from both depart, when first they heard, when first they saw lost Richie, holy, mercy of beauty, heard from a person, wouldn't expect it in the least, her first merciful, love-soft, oft-loved word, love that is singing love's old sweet song. Bloom unwound slowly the elastic band of his wallet, love's old sweet Sanella gold. Bloom wound a skein round four forefingers, stretched it, relaxed, and wound it round his troubled double fourfold in octave, curved them fast, full of hope and all delight. Tenors get women by the score, increase their flow, throw flower at his feet. When will we meet? My head, it simply. Next.
Jingle all delighted. He can't sing for tall hats. Your head is simply swirls. Perfume for him. What perfume does your wife? I want to know. Jing, stop, knock. Last look at mirror always before she answers the door. The hall. There? How do you? I do well. There? What? Or vial of cashews, kissing comfits in her satchel. Yes, hands felt for the opulent. Alas, the voice rose, sighing, changed, loud, full, shining, proud. But alas, 'twas idle dreaming. Glorious tone he has still. Cork air softer also their brogue. Silly man, could have made oceans of money, singing wrong words. Wore out his wife, now sings, but hard to tell. Only the two of themselves. If he doesn't break down, keep a trot for the avenue. His hands and feet sing too. Drink, nerves overstrung. Must be abstemious to sing. Jenny Lind soup, stock, sage, raw eggs, half pint of cream for creamy dreamy. Tenderness it welled, slow, swelling, full it throbbed. That's the chat. Ha, give, take, throb, a throb, pulsing, proud, erect. Words, music? No, it's what's behind. Bloom, looped, unlooped, noted, disnoted. Bloom, flood of warm jam, lick it up. Secretness flowed to the flow in music out, in desire, dark to lick, flow invading. Tipping her, tapping her, topping her, tup, pours to dilate, dilating, tup, the joy, the feel, the warm, the tup, to pour over sluices, pouring gushes, flood, gush, flow, joy gush, tup throb, now language of love. Dave.
Ray of hope is beaming. Lydia for Lidwell, squeak, scarcely hear so ladylike the muse, unsqueaked a ray of hope. Martha, it is, coincidence, just going to write, Lionel's song, lovely name you have, can't write, except my little prez, play on her heartstrings, purse strings too. She's I called you naughty boy. Still the name, Martha. How strange. Today. The voice of Lionel returned, weaker but unwearied. It sang again to Richie Poldy, Lydia Lidwell, also sang to Pat, open mouth, ear waiting to wait. How first he saw that form endearing, how sorrow seemed to part, how look, form, word charmed him. Gold, Lidwell, won Pat Bloom's heart. Wish I could see his face, though, explain better. Why the barber in Dragos always looked my face when I spoke his face in the glass. Still hear it better than in the bar, though farther. Each graceful look. First night when I met her at Matt Dillon's in Terenure. Yellow, black lace she wore, musical chairs. We to the last. Fate. After her fate. Round and round, slow, quick round. We two all looked. Halt. Down she sat, all ousted, looked, lips laughing, yellow knees, charmed my eye. Singing, waiting, she sang, I turned her music, voice, full voice of perfume. What perfume does your lilac trees? Bosom, I say, full, both full, throat warbling. First I saw, she thanked me. Why did she me? Fate, Spanishy, eyes. Under a pear tree, a lone patio, this hour in old Madrid, one side in shadow. Dolores, she Dolores, and me, luring. Ah, alluring. Martha, ah, Martha. Quitting all languor, Lionel cried in grief, in cry of passion dominant, to love to return with deepening, yet with rising chords of harmony. In cry of Lionel loneliness that she should know, must Martha feel. For only her he waited. Where? Here, there, try, there, here, all try, where, somewhere. Come, thou lost one. Come, thou dear one. Alone, one love, one hope, one comfort. Martha, chest note, return. Come. It soared, a bird, it held its flight, a swift, pure cry. Soar, silver orb, it leaped serene, speeding, sustained to come. Don't spin it out too long, long breath, he breath, long life, soaring high, high, resplendent flame, crowned high in the effulgent symbolistic high of the ethereal bosom, high of the high, vast irradiation everywhere, all soaring, all around about the all, the endlessness. To me, Seopold, consumed. Duncan?
Come, well sung. Oh, clap, she ought to. Come, to me, to him, to her. You too, me, us. Bravo! Clap, clap, Goodman, Simon. Clappity, clap, clap. Encore! Clap, clip, clap. Sound as a bell. Bravo, Simon! Clap, clap, clap. Encore! And clap, cried said, clapped all, Ben Dollard, Lydia Douce, George Lidwell, Pat Mina, 2 gentlemen with 2 tankards, Cowley, first gent with tank, and bronze, Miss Douce, and gold, Miss Mina. Blazes Boylan's smart tan shoes creaked on the bar floor, said before, jingle by the monuments of our Sir John Gray, Horatio one-handled Nelson, Reverend Father, Theobald Matthew. Jaunted as said before just now, a trot in heat-seated, cloche, sonny la cloche, sonny la. Slower the mare went up the hill by the rotunds, Rutland Square. Too slow for Boylan, blazes Boylan, impatient Boylan, joggled the mare. And after clang of Cowley's chords close died on the air made richer, and Richie Goulding drank his power, and Leopold Bloom his cider drank. Lidwell his Guinness, 2nd gentleman said they would partake of 2 tankards, if she did not mind. Miss Kennedy smirked, deserving coral lips. At first, at second, she did not mind. 7 days in jail, Ben Dollard said, on bread and water. Then you'll sing, Simon, like a garden thrush. Lionel Simon Singer laughed. Father Bob Cowley played. Mina Kennedy served, 2nd gentleman paid. Tom Kernan strutted in. Lydia admired, but Bloom sang dumb. Next.
Admiring, Richie, admiring, descanted on that man's glorious voice. He remembered one night long ago, never forget that night. Cy sang, 'twas rank and fame. In Ned Lambert's was. Good God, he never heard it all his life, a note like that. He never did. Then falls when we had better part. So clear, so God, he never heard, since love lives not. A clinking voice lives not. Ask Lambert, he can tell you too. Goulding, a flush struggling in his pale, told Bloom, face of the night. Cy in Ned Lambert's, Daedalus's house, sang, 'twas rank and fame. He, Mr. Bloom, listened, while he, Richie Goulding, told him, Mr. Bloom of the night, he, Richie, heard him, Cy Daedalus, sing, 'twas rank and fame in his, Ned Lambert's house. Brothers-in-law, relations. We never speak as we pass by. Rift in the lute, I think. Treats him with scorn. See, he admires him all the more. The night Cy sang. The human voice. 2 tiny, silky chords, wonderful, more than all others. The voice was a lamentation. Calm now. It's in the silence after you feel you hear. Vibrations, now silent air. Bloom unjibed his crisscrossed hands, and with slack fingers plucked the slender gut cat thong. He drew and plucked. A buzz betwanged, while Goulding talked of Barraclough's voice production, while Tom Kearney, harking back in a retrospective sort of arrangement, talked to listening Father Cowley, who played a voluntary, who nodded as he played, while big Ben Dollard talked with Simon Daedalus, lighting, who nodded as he smoked, who smoked. While Lost One, all songs on that theme. Yet more, Bloom stretched his string. Oh, it seems. Let people get fond of each other, lure them on, then tear asunder. Death, explosion, knock on the head. How the hell out of that? Human life. Dignity. Rat's tail wriggling. My father gave Opus Paradiso. Born crake croaker. Belly like a poison pup. They sing. Forgotten. I too, and one day she with leave her, get tired, suffer them, snuggle, big Spanishy eyes, goggling at nothing. Away, with heavy hair. Uncombed. They're too much happy boys. They stretch more. Are you not happy in your twang? It snapped. Jingle into Dorset Street. Next.
Miss Douce withdrew her satiny arm, reproachful, pleased. Don't make half so free, said she, till we are better acquainted. George Lidwell told her, really and truly, but she did not believe. First gentleman told me that was so. She asked him, was that so? And second tankard told her so. That was so. Miss Douce, Miss Lydia did not believe. Miss Kennedy, Mina did not believe. George Lidwell, no. Miss Douce did not. The first, gent with the tank, believe, no, did not. Miss Ken, Lidley, Dia, well, the tank. Better write it here. Quills in the post office chewed and twisted. Old Pat at sign drew nigh. A pen and ink, he went. A pad, he went. A pad to blot, he heard. Deaf Pat. Yes, Mr. Bloom said, teasing the curling catgut fine. It certainly is. Few lines will do. My present. All that Italian florid music is. Who is this wrote? Know the name you know better. Take out sheet, notepaper, envelope, unconcerned. It's so characteristic. Grandest number in the whole opera, Goulding said. It is, Bloom said. Numbers it is. All music, when you come to think. 2 multiplied by 2, divided by half, is twice 1. Vibrations, chords those are. 1 plus 2 plus 6 is 7. Do anything you like with figures juggling. Always find out this equal to that. Symmetry under a cemetery wall. He doesn't see my mourning. Callous, all for his own gut. Muse mathematics. And you think you're listening to the ethereal. But suppose you said it like Martha. 7 times 9 minus x is 35,000. Fall quite flat. It's on account of the sounds, it is. Instance he's playing now, improvising, might be what you like till you hear the word. Want to listen sharp? Hard. Begin all right, then hear chords a bit off. Be lost a bit. In and out of sacks over barrels, through wire fences, obstacle race. Time makes the tune. Question of mood you're in, still always nice to hear. Except scales up and down, girls learning. 2 together, next door neighbors. Ought to invent dummy pianos for that. Blumenlied I bought for her. The name. Playing it slow. A girl. Night I came home. A girl. Door of the stables near Cecilia Street. Millie no taste. Queer, because we both, Old deaf Pat brought quite flat pad ink. Pat sets with ink pen quite flat, Pat. Pad. Pat took plate, dish, knife, fork. Pat went. It was the only language Mr. Dedalus said to Ben. He heard them as a boy in Ringabella, Crosshaven, Ringabella singing their baracles, Queenstown harbour full of Italian ships. Walking, you know, Ben, in the moonlight with those earthquake hats, blending their voices. God, such music, Ben, heard as a boy. Cross Ringabella, Haven, Moon Carole. Sour pipe removed, he held a shield of hand behind his lips that cooed a moonlight night call, clear from an ear, a call from afar, replying. Next, please.
Down the edge of his Freeman baton range blooms your other eye, scanning for where did I see that Callan Coleman Dignam Patrick. Hi ho, Fawcett. Aha! Just I was looking. Hope he's not looking cute as a rat. He held, unfurled his freeman. Can't see now. Remember, right Greek ease. Bloom dipped, bloomer. Dear Sir, dear Henry wrote, dear Maddie, got your let and flow. Hell, did I put some puck or it's utter impasse. Underline impasse to write today. Board bloom, tambourine gently with I am just reflecting, fingers on flat pad, pat, brought. On, know what I mean? No, change that E. Accept my poor little pres in close. Ask her no ans. Hold on, 5 dig 2 about here. Penny the gulls. Elijah is come. 7 Davy Burns is 8 about say half a crown. My poor little pres. P.O. 2 and 6. Write me along. Do you despise Jingle? Have you the so excited? Why do you call me not? You naughty who? Oh, Mary lost the pinafore. Bye for today. Yes, we'll tell you. Want to keep it up. Call me that other world, she wrote. My patience are exhaust. To keep it up, you must believe the tank. It is true. Folly am I writing? Husbands don't. That's marriage does, their wives. Because I'm away from, suppose, but how she must keep young. If she found out, card in my high grade. No, not tell all. Useless pain. If they don't see, woman, sauce for the gander. Agni car number 324, driver Barton James of number 1 Harmony Avenue, Donnybrook, on which sat a fair, a young gentleman, stylishly dressed in an indigo blue serge suit, made by George Robert Messias, tailor and cutter of number 5 Eden Quay, wearing a straw hat, very dressy, bought of John Plastow of number 1 Great Brunswick Street, hatter, This is the jingle that joggled and jingled. By Glugas pork shop, bright tubes of Agendath trotted a gallant buttock mare. Answer your Nad? Keen Richie's eyes asked Bloom. Yes, Mr. Bloom said. Town traveller, nothing doing, I expect. Bloom or best references. But Henry wrote, it will excite me. You know now. In haste, Henry, Greek E. Better add postscript. What is he playing now? Improvising intermezzo. P.S. Will rum-tum-tum. How will you pun? You punish me, crooked skirt swinging, whack by. Tell me, I want to. No. Oh, course, if I didn't, I wouldn't ask. La 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 re. Trails off there. Sad in minor. Why minor sad? Sign H. They like sad tail at end. PPS. La 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 re. I feel so sad today, Larry, so lonely, D. He blotted quick on pad of Pat on the address, just copy out of paper, murmured, Messrs. Callan, Coleman and Company Limited. Henry wrote, Miss Martha Clifford, care of P.O. Box, P.O. Dolphins Barn Lane, Dublin. Sylvia.
Blot over the other so he can't read. There, right. Idea, prize tidbit. Something detective read off blotting paper. Payment at the rate of guinea per call. Matcham often thinks the laughing witch. Poor Mrs. Purfoy. U.P. up. Too poetical. That about the sad. Music did that. Music has charms, Shakespeare said. Quotations every day in the year. To be or not to be. Wisdom while you wait. In Jared Rosary of Fetter Lane he walks. Grey dog burn. One life is all. one body, do, but do. Done anyhow. Postal order, stamp, post office lower down. Walk now, enough. Barney Kiernan's, I promised to meet them. Dislike that job. House of mourning. Walk, Pat. Doesn't hear. Deaf, beetle he is. Car near now. Talk, Pat. Doesn't. Settling those napkins. Lot of ground he must cover in a day. Paint face behind on him. Then he'd be two. Wish they'd sing more. Keep my mind off. Bald Pat, who is bothered, mitered the napkins. Pat is the waiter hard of his hearing. Pat is the waiter who waits while you wait. He waits while you wait. While you wait. If you wait, he will wait while you wait. Oh, wait while you wait. Deuce now. Deuce Lydia. Bronze and rose. She had a gorgeous, simply gorgeous time. And look at the lovely shell she brought. The end of the bar to him she bore lightly the spiked and winding seahorn that he, George Lidwell, solicitor, might hear. Listen, she bade him. Under Tom Kiernan's gin hot words, the accompanist wove music slow, authentic fact. How Walter Bapty lost his voice. Well, sir, the husband took him by the throat. Scoundrel, he said, you'll sing no more love songs. He did. Faith, Sir Tom. Bob Cowley wove. Tenors get worn. Cowley lay back. Ah, now he heard. She holding it to his ear. Here, he heard. Wonderful. She held it to her own. And through the sifted light pale gold in the contrast glided to hear. Tap. Bloom through the bar door saw a shell held to their ears. He heard more faintly that they heard, each for herself alone, each for the other, hearing the splash of waves, loudly a silent roar. Bronzed by the weary gold, anear, afar, they listened. Her ear too is a shell, the peeping lobe there. Been to the seaside, lovely seaside girls, skin tanned raw. Should have put on cold cream first to make it brown, buttered toast. Oh, and that lotion, mustn't forget. Fever near her mouth. Your head, it's simply. Her hair braided over, shell with seaweed. Why do they hide their ears with seaweed hair? And Turk's the mouth. Why? Her ears over the sheet. Yasmak. Find the way in, a cave. No admittance except on business. Next.
The sea they think they hear, singing, a roar. The blood it is, spouses the ear sometimes. Well, it's a sea, Corpuscle Islands. Wonderful, really, so distinct. Again, George Lidwell held its murmur hearing, then laid it by gently. What are the wild waves saying? He asked her, smiled. Charming, sea smiling, and unanswering, Lydia on Lidwell smiled. Tap. By Larry O'Rourke's, by Larry Bold, Larry O'Boyle and swayed and Boyle and turned. From the forsaken shell, Miss Nina glided to her tankard, waiting. No, she was not so lonely. Archingly, Miss Douce's head let Miss Lidwell know. Walks in the moonlight by the sea. No, not alone. With whom? She nobly answered, with a gentleman friend. Bob Crowley's twinkling fingers in the treble played again. The landlord has the prior. A little time, Long John, Big Ben. Lightly he played a light, bright, tingling measure for tripping ladies, arch and smiling, and for their gallant gentlemen friends. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, sea, wind, leaves, thunder, waters, cows lowing, the cattle market, cocks, hens, don't crow, snakes hiss. There's music everywhere. Rutledge door, creaking, no, that's noise. Minute of Don Giovanni, he's playing now. Court dresses of all descriptions in castle chambers dancing. Misery, peasants outside, green starving faces eating dock leaves. Nice that is. Look, 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 look. You look at us. That's joyful I can feel. Never have written it. Why? My joy is other joy. Both are joys. Yes, joy it must be. Mere fact of music shows you are. Often though she was in the dumps till she began to lilt. Then no. McCoy Valise, my wife and your wife, squealing cat, like tearing silk, tongue when she talks like a clapper of the bellows. They can't manage men's intervals. Gap in their voices too. Fill me. I'm warm, dark, open. Molly, in quies homo, mercandent, my ear against the wall to hear. Want a woman who can deliver the goods? Jog, jig, jog, stop, dandy tan shoe of dandy boil and socks, sky blue clocks came light to earth. Oh, look, we are so chamber music, could make a kind of pun on that. It's a kind of music I often thought when acoustics, that is, tinkling empty vessels make most noise, because the acoustics, the resonance changes according as the weight of the water is equal to the law of falling water. Like those rhapsodies of Liszt's Hungarian gypsy-eyed pearls, drops, rain, diddle, iddle, addle, addle, oodle, oodle, hiss now, maybe now, before. Next, please.
One rapped on the door, one tapped with a knock. Did he knock Paul the cock with a loud, proud knocker, with a cock, cara, 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 cock, 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 tap. Case senor, Ben said, Father Cowley. No, Ben, Tom Kernan interfered. It's a crappie boy, our native Doric. I do, Ben, Mr. Dedalus said. Good man and true. Do, they begged in one. I'll go. Here, Pat, return. Come. He came, he did not stay. To me, how much? What key? 6 sharps? F sharp major, Ben Dollard said. Bob Cowley's outstretched talons gripped the black, deep-sounding chords. Must go, Prince Bloom told Richie Prince. No, Richie said. Yes, must. Got money somewhere. He's on for a razzled backache spree. Much? He's see here's lip speech. 1 and 9. Penny for yourself. Here, give him a tuppence tip. Deaf, bothered. But perhaps he has a wife and family waiting. Waiting Patty come home. He. Deaf wait while they wait. But here, chords dark, lugubrious, low, in a cave of the dark middle earth, embedded o'er, lump music. The voice of dark age, of unlove, earth's fatigue made grave reproach and painful, come from afar, from hoary mountains, called on good man and true. The priest he sought, with him would he speak a word. Tap. Ben Dollard's voice, bass barrel tone, doing his level best to say it, croak of vast manless, moonless marsh, other come down. Big ships, chandeliers, business he did once. Remember rosiny ropes, ship's lanterns, failed to the tune of 10,000 pounds. Now in the Ivy home, cubicle number so-and-so, number 1 Number 1, Bass did that for him. Next, please, Dave.
Yep. The priests at home, a false priest's servant bade him welcome. Step in, the Holy Father, with bows, a traitor's servant, curlicues of cords. Ruin them, wreck their lives, then build them cubicles to end their days in. Hushaby, lullaby, die, dog, little dog, die. The voice of warning, solemn warning, told them the youth had entered a lonely hall, told them how solemn fell his footsteps there, told them the gloomy chamber, the vested priest sitting to shrive. Decent soul, bit addled now, thinks he'll win in answers poet's picture puzzle. We hand you crisp £5 note, bird sitting hatching in the nest. Lay of the last minstrel, he thought it was. C blank T, what domestic animal? T-R, most courageous mariner. Good voice he has still, no eunuch yet with all his belongings. Listen. Bloom listened, Richie Golding listened, and by the door, deaf Pat, bald Pat, tipped Pat listened. The chords harped slower. The voice of penitence and of grief came slow, embellished, tremulous. Ben's contrite beard confessed. In nomine Domine, in God's name he knelt, he beat his hand upon his breast, confessing mea culpa. Latin again, that holds them like birdlime. Priest with the communion corpus for those women, chap in the mortuary, coffin or coffee, corpus nomine. Wonder where that rat is by now. Scrape. Tap. They listened. Tankards and Miss Kennedy. George Lidwell, I Lidwell, expressive, full-busted satin. Kernan, sigh. The sighing voice of sorrow sang. His sins. Since Easter he had cursed 3 times. You bitches bast. And once at mass time he'd gone to play. Once by the churchyard he'd passed, and for his mother's rest he had not prayed. A boy, a croppy boy. Bronze listened by the beer pole, gazed far away, soulfully. Doesn't half know I'm Molly, great dab at seeing anyone looking. Bronze gazed far, sideways. Mirror there. Is that the best side of her face? They always know. Knock at the door. Last tip to titivate. Cock-cara. What do they think when they hear music? Way to catch rattlesnakes? Night. Michael Gunn gave us the box. Tuning up, Shaw of Persia liked that best. Remind him of Home Sweet Home. Wiped his nose in curtain too. Custom his country perhaps. That's music too, not as bad as it sounds. Tootling. Brasses spraying asses through up trunks. Double basses, helpless, gashes in their sides. Woodwinds mooing cows. Semi-grand open crocodile, music has jaws. Whirlwind like Goodwin's name. She looked fine, her crocus dress she wore low-cut, belongings on show. Clover breath was always in the theater when she bent to ask a question. Told her what Penosa says in that book of poor papas. Hypnotized, listening, eyes like that, she bent. Chap in dress circle staring down into her with his opera glass for all he was worth. Beauty of music you must hear twice. Nature woman half a look. God made the country man the tune. Met him pike courses, philosophy. Oh, rocks. Duncan?
All gone, all fallen. At the siege of Ross, his father. At Gorey, all his brothers fell. To Wexford. We are the boys of Wexford, he would. Last of his name and race. I too, last of my race. Millie, young student, well, my fault perhaps. No son, Rudy, too late now. Or if still, he bore no hate. Hate, love, those are names. Rudy, soon I am old. Big Ben, his voice unfolded, great voice, Richie Golding said, a flush struggling in his pale to bloom. Soon old, but when was young? Ireland comes now, my country above the king. She listens. Who fears to speak of 1904? Time to be shoving. Looked enough. Bless me, father, Dollard the Croppy cried. Bless me and let me go. Tap. Bloom looked, unblessed to go. Got up to kill on 18 bob a week. Fellows shell out the dibs. Want to keep your weather eye open. Those girls, those lovely, by the sad sea waves. Chorus girls' romance, letters read out for breach of promise from Chickabiddy's own Mumsy Pum. Laughter in court. Henry, I never signed it. The lovely name you. Low sank the music, air, and words. Then hastened the false priest rushing soldier from his cassock, a yeoman's captain. They know it all by heart, the thrill they itch for. Yeoman's cap. Tap, tap. Next.
Thrilled, she listened, bending in sympathy to hear. Blank face. Version, should say, or fingered only. Write something on it. Page. If not, what becomes of them? Decline, despair. Keeps them young. Even admire themselves. See, play on her. Lip blown. Body of white woman, a flute alive. Low, gentle, loud. 3 holes, all women. Goddess, I didn't see. They want it. Not too much polite. That's why he gets them. Gold in your pocket, brass in your face. Say something. Make her hear. With look to look. Songs without words. Molly, that hurdy-gurdy boy, she knew he meant the monkey was sick. Oh, because so like the Spanish. Understand animals too that way. Solomon did. Gift of nature. Ventriloquize. My lips closed. Think in my stomach. What? You, I want you too. With hoarse, rude fury the yeoman cursed, swelling an apoplectic bitch's bastard. A good thought, boy, to come. What hour's your time to live? Your last. Tap, tap. Thrill man. Pity they feel. To wipe away a tear from martyrs that want to, dying to, die. For all things dying, for all things born. Oh, this is pure. Hope she's over. Because their wounds, a liquid, a womb, a woman, eyeball gazed under a fence of lashes, calmly hearing, see real beauty of the eye when she not speaks. On yonder river, at each slow, satiny heaving bosom's wave, her heaving emblem, red rose rose slowly, sank red rose, heartbeats, her breath that is life, and all the tiny, tiny fern folds trembled of maiden hair. But look, the bright stars fade, all rose, Castile, the moon. Oh, Lidwell, for him then, not for, infatuated. I like that. See her from here then. Cupped corks, splashes of beer froth, stacks of empties. On the smooth, jutting beer pole laid Lydia a hand, lightly, plumply. Leave it to my hands. All lost in pity for Puppy. Fro, to, fro, over the polished dog. She knows his eyes, my eyes, her eyes. The thumb and finger passed in pity, past repose, and gently touching, and slid so smoothly, slowly down, the cool, firm, white enamel baton, protruding through their sliding ring, with a cock and a cara. Tap, tap, tap. Next.
I hold this house. Amen. He gnashed in fury. Traitors swing. The chords consented. Very sad thing, but had to be. Get out before the end. Thanks, that was heavenly. Where's my hat? Passed by her. Can leave that, Freeman. Letter I have. Suppose she were the... No. Walk, walk, walk. Like Cashel, Boileau, Conoroe, Coilo, Tisdall, Morris, Tinsdall, Farrell, walk. Well, I must be. Are you off? Where from you buys? Limsup. Oh, where rye high blue. Bloom stood up. Out. Soap feeling rather sticky behind. Must have sweated. Music. That lotion, remember? Well, so long. High grade card inside. Yes. My deaf pat in the doorway, straining ear. Bloom passed. At Geneva Barrack, that young man died. At Passage was his body laid. Dolore, oh, he Dolores. The voice of the mournful chanter called to dolorous prayer. By rose, by satiny bosom, by the fondling hand, by slops, by empties, by popped corks, greeting and going, past eyes and maiden hair, bronze and faint golden, deepest shadow. Went Bloom, soft Bloom, I feel so lonely, Bloom. Tap, tap, tap. Pray for him, prayed the bath of Dollard. You who hear in peace, breathe a prayer, drop a tear. Good men, good people. He was the croppy boy. Scaring, eavesdropping boots, croppy boots boy Bloom in the Ormond hallway, heard growls and roars of bravo, fat backslapping, their boots all treading. Boots, not the boots, the boy. General chorus off for a swill to wash it down. Glad I avoided. Come on, Ben, Simon Dedalus said. By God, you're as good as ever you were. Better, said Tom Gin Kiernan, most trenchant rendition of that ballad. Upon my soul and honour it is. La Blash, said Father Cowley. Ben Dollard bulkily cashew-shad towards the bar, mightily praise-fed and all big roseate on heavy-footed feet, his gouty fingers knackering castanets in the air. Big Ben Dollard, Big Ben Ben, Big Ben Ben. Rawr. Next, please.
And deep moved all, Simon, trumping compassion from foghorn nose, all laughing they brought him forth, Ben Dollard in right good cheer. You're looking rubicund, George Lidwell said. Miss Douce composed her rose to wait. Ben Macree, said Mr. Dedalus, clapping Ben's fat back shoulder blade. Fit as a fiddle, only he has a lot of adipose tissue concealed about his person. Rrrs! Fat of death, Simon, Ben Dollard growled. Richie riffed in the lute alone sat. Goulding Collis ward, uncertainly he waited, unpaid pat to tap, 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 tap. Miss Mina Kennedy brought near her lips to ear of tankard one. Mr. Dollard, they murmured low. Dollard, murmured tankard. Tank one believed, Miss Ken, when she, that droll he was, she doll, the tank. He murmured that he knew the name was familiar to him, that is to say, he had heard the name of Dollard. Was it Dollard? Yes. Yes, her lips said more loudly. Mr. Dollard, he sang that song lovely, murmured Mina. And the last rose of summer was a lovely song. Mina loved that song. Tankard loved the song that Mina. 'Tis the last rose of summer, Dollard. Left bloom, felt wind, wound round inside. Gassy thing that cider, binding too. Wait, post office near Reuben J's 1 and 8pence to get shut of it. Dodge around by Greek Street. Wish I hadn't promised to meet. Freer in air. Music gets on your nerves. Beer pull. Her hand that rocks the cradle rules the Ben Holt that rules the world. Far, 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 far. Tap, 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 tap. Up the key went Lionel pulled. Lionel pulled, naughty Henry with letter from Maddie, with sweets of sin, with Phillies for Raoul to meet Timpicoses when pulled on. Tap, blind, walked, tapping by the tap, the curd stone tapping, tap by tap. Cowley, he stuns himself with it, kind of drunkenness, better give way, only halfway the way of a man with a maid. Instance, enthusiasts, all ears, never lose a demi-semi-quaver, eyes shut, head nodding in time. Dotty, you daren't budge. Thinking strictly prohibited, always talking shop, fiddle-faddle about notes. Sylvia.
All a kind of attempt to talk. Unpleasant when it stops, because you never know exact. Organ in Gardner Street. Old Glim, 50 quid a year. Queer up there in the cockloft alone, with stops and locks and keys. Seated all day at the organ. Maronder on for hours, talking to himself, or the other fellow blowing the bellows. Growl, angry, then shriek, cursing. Want to have waiting or something in his... No, don't she cried. Then, all of a sudden, a soft, sudden, little, wee, little, pipey wind. Phew, a little wind piped, in Bloom's little wee. Was he? Mr. Dedalus said, returning with fetched pipe. I was with him this morning at poor Paddy Dignam's. Ah, Lord have mercy on him. By the by, there's a tuning fork in there on the tap, 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 tap. The wife has a fine voice, or had. What? Lidwell asked. Oh, that must be the tuner, Lydia said to Simon Lionel, first I saw. Forgot it when he was here. Blind he was, she told George Lidwell. Second I saw. And played so exquisitely. Treat to hear. Exquisite contrast. Bronze lid, mine of gold. Shout! Ben Jollard shouted, pouring. Sing out! Lido! Cried Father Crowley. Rrrr! I wish I want. Tap, 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 tap. Next.
Very, Mr. Dedalus said, staring hard at a headless sardine. Under sandwich bell lay on a bier of bread one last, one lonely, last sardine of summer. Bloom alone. Very, he stared, the lower register for choice. Tap, 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 tap. Bloom went by Barry's. Wish I could. Wait, that wonder worker if I had. 24 solicitors in that one house. Litigation. Love one another. Piles of parchment. Messrs. Pick and Pocket have power of attorney. Goulding, Collins, Ward. But, for example, the chap that wallops the big drum, his vocation, Mickey Rooney's band. Wonder how it first struck him. Sitting at home after pig's cheek and cabbage, nursing it in the armchair, rehearsing his band part, pompity, jolly for the wife, asses' skins, welcome through life, then wallop after death, wallop, seems to be what you call yashmak, or I mean kismet, fate. Tap, tap, stripling blind with a tapping cane, came tapping by Daly's window, where a mermaid's hair all streaming, but he couldn't see. Blew whiffs of a mermaid, blind, couldn't. Mermaid, coolest whiff of all. Instruments, a blade of grass, shell of her hands, then blow, even comb and tissue paper you can knock a tune out of. Molly in her shift in Lombard Street West, hair down. I suppose each kind of trade made its own, don't you see? Hunter with a horn, ha. Have you the cloche, sonilla, shepherd his pipe, policeman a whistle, locks and keys, sweep. 4 o'clock, all's well, sleep, all is lost now. Drum, Pompedy, wait, I know, town crier, bum bailiff, Long John, waken the dead, Pom, Dignam, poor little nanny Dunny. Pom, it is music, I mean, of course, it's all pom, very much, what they call the capo. Still you can hear, as we march along, pom, I must, poof. Now, if I did that at a banquet, just a question of custom, Shah of Persia, breathe a prayer, drop a tear, all the same, he must have been a bit of a natural not to see it was a yeoman's cap. Muffled up. Wonder who was that chap at the grave, at the brown mackin? Oh, the whore of the lane. Next, please.
A frowsy whore with black straw sailor hat askew came lazily in the day along the quay towards Mr. Bloom. When first he saw that form endearing, yes, it is. I feel so lonely. Wet night in the lane. Horn. Who had the he saw, she saw, he ha, she saw. Off her beat there. What is she? Hope she. Psst. Any chance of your wash? New Molly. Have me decked. Stout lady does be with you in the brown costume. Put you off your stroke, that. Appointment we made knowing we'd never, well, hardly ever. Too dear, too near to home, sweet home. Sees me, does she? Looks a fright in the day. Face like dip. Damn her. Oh, well, she has to live like the rest. Look in here. Dave, take us home.
In Lionel Mark's antique sale shop window, haughty Henry Lionel Leopold, dear Henry Flower, earnestly Mr. Leopold Bloom, envisioned battered candlesticks, melodeon oozing maggoty blow bags. Bargain, 6 bob. Might learn to play. Cheap. Let her pass. Course, everything is dear if you don't want it. That's what good salesman is. Make you buy what he wants to sell. Chap sold me the Swedish razor he shaved me with. Wanted to charge me for the etch he gave. She's passing now. 6 bob. Must be the cider, or perhaps the Bergen. Near bronze from a near gold from afar, they chinked their clicking glasses, all bright-eyed and gallant. Before blondes, Lydia's tempting last rose of summer, Rose of Castile, first lid, D, Cow, Cur, Doll, a fifth, Lidwell, Cy, Daedalus, Bob Cowley, Kernan, and Big Ben Dollard. Tap. A youth entered a lonely Ormond hall. Bloom viewed a gallant pictured hero in Lionel Mark's window. Robert Emmett's last words, 7 last words of Meyer beer, that is, true men like you men. Aye, aye, Ben. We'll lift your glasses with us. They lifted. Shink, shunk, tip, an unseeing stripling stood in the door. He saw not bronze, he saw not gold, nor Ben, nor Bob, nor Tom, nor Cy, nor George, nor Tanks, nor Richie, nor Pat. He did not see. See Bloom, Greasa Bloom, viewed last words softly. When my country takes her place among, must be the nations of the earth, no one behind, she's past. Then and not till then. Tram, cran, good opera, coming, crandle, cran, ran. I'm sure it's the Bergen. Yes, 1, 2. Let my epitaph be written. I have Prumph. Done. Well done, everybody. That was great. That was such a good idea, Duncan. That was such a good idea to do this.
Yes.
I think it went exceedingly well. Perfect
Absolutely.
for this particular episode. Perfect timing.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
No. Oh, and there's so much in it.
There is.
Oh my God. You could do another day or, there's 3 weeks analysis.
Yeah, but I thought it really, at least for me, kind of tied a lot of the analysis together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Not
great.
everything that we covered, but actually quite a bit. So
Yes.
it's good.
It was great actually reading it all the way through after all the discussion we've had in the previous week or two.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm in vehement agreement with you, Jim.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. It's good to know.
Wow.
Oh, well, I think probably should just say thank you very much. I am very
Absolutely.
full and feeling good. So
Yep.
Mhm.
yeah,
And don't forget Hamlet tomorrow.
Hamlet tomorrow. That is correct.
To be or not to be.
Exactly. Come most carefully upon your hour.